How many chairs are you sitting on right now? Are you all in on the chair? You put on one pair of glasses, you've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. Like, you're using one microphone. That's the one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? Do you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? You know? Do you think a different way? You get on one airplane? Are you convicted? You put your entire family in the one airplane? Aren't you afraid? When you use knives, do you have copper knives, wooden knives, steel knives, aluminum knives, rubber band knives, diamond knives because you're afraid to commit to the right knife? So my point really is, ultimately, if you're a rational individual, it's a tool.
Maxie, Jackson, Ray, Digi, Money, Levi, the whole squad, Polka, Mickley, what's good, what's good, Friesman, what's good, White Whale, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good. All right, I am sorry I missed stream yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm sick as fuck. I really wasn't gonna stream today. Like I woke up this morning and I was really not gonna stream today. I've been going through it the last 2 days. I don't know if I look like shit. I can't really tell, but I've been going through it the last 2 days. I'm not gonna lie, I probably had the worst 24 hours, 48 hours of my life. Like, I woke up 2 days ago on Sunday, and I had aggressive food poisoning. I think, first of all, it's a blizzard out. 3 things happened to me. First of all, it's a blizzard outside. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want, chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. First of all, it's a blizzard outside, and so there's like 10 inches of snow. You can't go anywhere. And I woke up in the morning with aggressive food poisoning. Like I'm talking like, I woke up and I ate a bagel. No, that's not even true. I ate a yogurt and peanut butter, and I was just throwing up like so much. And I threw up so much, like so intense, that after I felt good. And I'm like, all right, bet. I'm good. So I went to the fucking bodega and I got a bacon, egg, and cheese, and I just crushed it. Like I just crushed it like right away. Like I'm talking like an hour after I threw up 15 times. I crushed a bacon, egg, and cheese, barbecue chips. Like I just crushed it. And then 3 hours later, I threw up like 20 times, bro. Like hard, like intense. And then after that, I'm like, all right, like this is rough. Like I'm probably fine. And so then I had like 5 saltines and like a sip of water, and I threw up like 20 more times. Like I was throwing up shit I didn't even know I still had in my body. And mind you, this is 24 hours after I went on a date that cooked for me, bro. She made me food. I ate the food, and then the next day I wake up and I'm like poisoned. Like I've thrown up before, but I've never been poisoned before. I woke up 24 hours after this date and I was like legitimately, I was poisoned, bro. My bloodstream was just like, bro, my bloodstream, you would think my bloodstream was injected with salmonella, right? And she might be watching the stream, but I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't know if I could go on another date, genuinely, because I'm thinking about her right now and I'm thinking about throwing up. It's fucked. I'm thinking about her and I'm thinking about like throwing up. And so I'm throwing up the whole day. I can't eat anything. I can't drink water. I'm like dehydrated. I'm dying. At the same time, just to set the stage of how fucking down bad I am, I have this like lingering shoulder injury I've had for like 5 years. Okay. I don't really know where or how or why I got the shoulder injury. But one day I woke up my senior year of high school at basketball practice and I was like, holy fuck, my shoulder is fried. Okay. And I went to doctor for the last 4 years. I've been to like 7 doctors after the last 4 years. I've gotten like 3 different MRIs, and every doctor's been like, bro, like you're fine. And so I just kept lifting. And so like imagine you drove like a Ferrari, and your Ferrari had a bunk engine, but you had like the nicest paint job, the best rims, the tightest brakes, and the sharpest tires in the game. That's basically my left shoulder for the last 4 years. And so I went to physical therapy. I went to all these places. They taught me how to I had to like relearn how to use my shoulder. Like I had no muscle memory in my shoulder. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know how to lift. And so I like retrained myself how to lift with my shoulder. And I finally got back into a flow. Like I'm thin, I'm strong, I'm cut, I'm moving weight, I'm pressing. Like I finally got into a spot where I could use my shoulder again, right? But I woke up 3 days ago after sleeping on it in the most excruciating shoulder pain I've ever felt in my entire, like I'm telling you, bro, I woke up with the most excruciating shoulder pain I've ever felt in my entire life for 3 days straight. So the whole time I'm like, pity me, by the way, give me some fucking love. I'm aggressively throwing up every hour, 15 times an hour. Like I probably threw up 45 times in a day. And then I have the worst shoulder pain I've ever had in my life, like so bad. And so I woke up yesterday and I'm like, dude, I need a doctor right now. And only doctor shoulder was this like shady doctor's office in New York that like wouldn't take my insurance or nothing. So I go do a walk-in appointment, $1,000 walk-in appointment. And they gave me like they gave me a shoulder inject, bro. I'm in so much pain. I'm in the back of the Uber. Like I feel like my shoulder's dislocated. Yes, this is yesterday. And I get to the doctor and he's like, he puts like a ultrasound, like like the ultrasound like cream. You know what I'm talking about, where they like can see if it's like a boy or a girl or whatever. They put the ultrasound cream on my shoulder, and he's like, "Wait, Remind me what the last doctor told you with the MRI. I'm like, yeah, bro, I got an MRI. This doctor in LA, he told me I was fine. And he's like, bro, I think you might have a torn labrum. Like, I think you might have a torn labrum. I'm like, bro, seriously? He's like, yeah, this looks terrible. He's like, look at that. That looks terrible. That looks terrible. That looks terrible. And I'm like, fuck, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, can you help me? I'm like, okay, well, look, that's all like fine and dandy, but like, can you help me right? I need help right now. Like, I need your help right this moment. I'm like genuinely dying. And he goes, okay. And he gets the fucking the needle. Fuck, they take I mean, he takes his needle out. It's this long. I'm not kidding. It's this long and it's like this thick, and he spits on it twice. He flicks it twice, puts a sterile wipe or whatever on my arm, and then he fucking shoots that thing like a sawed-off shotgun in my shoulder, like it's like a cortisol shot. What is it? Toradol. And he gives me this like monster needle, like it was a fucking. Oh, I'm sitting here like, oh, I have a needle thing. I'm really not good with needles. I'm really, really, really bad with needles. I don't like them. I have this story. I was in second grade. One time, my mom made me get a flu shot, and I was so scared of the flu shot that they put it into my arm, and it fucking twitched, and the needle broke off my arm. And I was running around the doctor office screaming bloody murder with a needle like a fucking 6-inch needle hanging out of my arm, and they like pin me down and pull it out. It was this whole thing. So I have like needle trauma, and so he saps his joint and he sticks this shot in my arm, and it was like fucking, oh my god. But he gives me the shot, and then like right away my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. And my shoulder doesn't not hurt because it's not inflamed anymore. My shoulder doesn't hurt because I have this fucking needle pain in my arm. Like the worst, you get like a bad shot and you can't move your arm for 3 days. It just like hurts a different way now. So it's like kind of they tell you to like pinch your knee really hard when you get a flu shot because you like think of the pain in your knee for the first time. So it was like that basically, except it was in the same exact spot. So I got this massive shoulder thing, and then they sent me to the doctor to get a MRI. So I went and got it. So I'm like dying, right? I haven't had. I'm like, I've food poisoning. I'm dying, and I got my shoulders like hanging out of the socket. And so I go get this fucking 6-inch needle in my fucking arm, and then I like limp over to the MRI, which was half a mile away, but you couldn't get an Uber because there was like a blizzard outside. So I like limped down fucking New York to make it to the MRI, and that took 30 minutes. I got an MRI done, and then waiting on the results to see what exactly happens next. But when I was getting the MRI, I ate a bagel for the first time. I hadn't eaten anything, so I'm laying in this. You ever got an MRI before? I've gotten like 10 of them. I'm laying in this like machine, and it's like blaring sounds into my eyes, and I look up, and I'm really claustrophobic, and I'm in this like white tube, and I'm nauseous because I just ate a bagel for the first time. I just housed a bagel, I just like crushed a bagel. So hungry. I lost like 10 pounds. I haven't eaten in 10 days. By the way, I threw up so many times that I understand why people do this throw up thing, right? Because my physique was crazy. My physique looked unlike anything I've ever had my physique look like. I'm thin, I'm cut, I'm vascular, I'm veiny, but I'm nauseous, and I look up and I'm in this like white tube. It's blaring sounds, and the guy's talking to me through the ear, and I'm fucking having an anxiety attack on my shoulders, like hanging out of its socket, and I have cortisol like fucking drowning through my body. And so, yeah, I woke up today and I was really nauseous, and I was being told I was gonna cancel stream actually, but I realized that part of the reason I was fucking going through it this morning is I hadn't had coffee in 48 hours, and so I usually drink 800 milligrams of caffeine, but I didn't drink it yesterday because I was vomiting all day. I actually hadn't drank it. It's actually like the third day of no caffeine. So I woke up this morning and I was like, I had a headache like you've never understood, the type of headache that I had this morning. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just housed a cold brew. And so I thought I was going to throw up 5 minutes ago, but I didn't. And so I'm kind of like coming back from the dead a little bit. But I had a rough couple days. So I'm going to get my MRI results back in a couple days. And please pray to the heavens, God, if you believe in them, that I don't have a torn labrum. Because if I have a torn labrum, it's just like so GG. It's almost summer. It's New York summer. I'm strong. I'm in good shape. I'm on creatine. I'm fucking like, I'm pumping weight. Just please don't let me have a torn labrum, bro. It's fucking GG's if that happens. You're pale as fuck. Thank you. Yeah, dude, I almost died. Where did I get food poisoning from? Probably my date, bro. My date uh cooked for me, and I woke up fucking like on my literal death. I was crawling across the floor. It also doesn't help that I told her my life story right before as well, right after. Like the last thing I remember is like telling her my life story, everything I've ever been through, ever trauma dumping, and then like waking up in the morning just like throwing up. Like I mean, I was like, bro, I was holding on to the toilet, like just throwing up like you've never imagined. Socks off, shirt off, just like in the bathroom, like on my knees, like holding onto the toilet, like gripping it, dude. It was like hands like in the water, thumbs in the toilet bowl type of. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm like gripping the toilet water. It was that disgusting. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 days. By the way, I'm gonna leak. Someone says I hate throwing up. I'm actually really good at throwing up. Like I'm good at it. I've done it often. I used to pull trig a lot. I just like pull trig like casually. Used to do that for sure. Um, Chad, be honest. You ever pulled your trig before? Of course. I mean, it's like if you're like when I'm like a young like when I was in college and shit. It's like it's either gonna come out on its own or like by me, and I'd prefer it to be by me. And so I was a big trig guy back in the day, but that's when I was like 19, you know. Um, so I'm also relatively nauseous right now. So if I start throwing up during stream, like just say a prayer or something and pray my shoulder isn't torn. But anyways, that's where I've been the last 2 days. I missed you. Did you guys miss me? Be honest. Do a trig tutorial. It's really not that hard. It's like you just go 3 fingers and you just go until it comes out. It's like it's pretty simple actually. It's pretty binary. It's like have you thrown up? Yes, no. If the answer is no, pull harder. If the answer is yes, then you're probably good, or do it one more time. Right? Like I feel like it's relatively simple. It's a pretty binary action. It's like it's not like subjective. It's very much like, dude, I pulled trig at the pregame is crazy. What are you doing? At the pregame is wild. At the pregame is crazy, bro. You should not be doing that at the pregame. It's a total postgame, the night is over type of move. Or it's the night trig. Trig is like the night is over and I want to sleep, but I have the spins. Or I got a chance to make some shit happen, but I got to lock in and I'm way too fucked up. Those are the only scenarios in which you should ever pull trig. You don't pull at the pregame just to clear a little space. Pulling trig to clear a little space is crazy. That's not what it's for, Big G. You just drank too much. You do not do it to like make room for another drink. It's totally like it's last resort. Last resort, I gotta go to bed, or last resort, I gotta lock in, and there's no in between. Doing it to like take another shot is crazy. That's nuts. You gotta be careful with that because then you start to get addicted to it. They call that like an ED, I think is what they call that, right? ED. So, all right. On a serious note, welcome back to the stream. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, dare I say, that the market is a little bit optimistic. If Bitcoin could sustain just a little itty bitty pump while silver chills out, there has been an on-chain vibe shift. And the on-chain vibe shift is people right now are looking for any excuse possible for a reason to slam coins. And dare I go one step further and say that the Ryan Watkins article that we read on stream about how, one, there's good tokens in crypto, and two, Hyperliquid is going to win. Dare I say that was the bottom? Does anybody remember when we did the stream? Hyper was at $20, and I read the Ryan Watkins article, and I'm not gonna lie, the day before that I was in dire desperation terms. I was not feeling good about crypto, and we read the Ryan Watkins article, and I am willing to go out on a limb right now and say that we have potentially approached a potential spot where potentially people are starting to feel optimistic about on-chain again. We got hype, we got pump, we got the penguin. Fuck it, Copper Inu, fuck it, Claude. There's some things to be excited about today. And so what I want to do is I want to talk about the state of on-chain for a little bit. I want to go through a segment on the Penguin token, which will also be a good YouTube video, which, by the way, I think is going to be a YouTube video we get 20, 30K views on. I'm trying a new style. So we're going to do a Penguin segment for you guys, but we're also going to do it for the non-crypto crowd, which is the Penguin itself is a story that I believe in particular is a reason why memes and pump fun are not going to die. It's a pretty, it's honestly an optimistic story. If you were looking for a reason to be optimistic, is the Penguin story. Stocks are at all-time high. Metals have maybe chilled out a little bit. And then after that, we are going to get Rob Hadick from Dragonfly on the show. He is going to talk about prediction markets. He's also going to talk about the VC macro side of crypto, maybe a little AI. Really, really smart guy. Last time we had him on was to talk about tokenized stocks on Robinhood. And then once he gets off, I was gonna rug stream, but you know what? I'm not gonna fucking do it, because instead I'm gonna do a segment on the gentleman, the son of someone who works for the United States government and whose sole purpose is to secure crypto for them, that stole $40 million, and he's becoming like a folk hero. It's a pretty great, I don't know about folk, an infamous folk hero, like a negative folk hero, not a good one. So yeah, a lot to talk about, a lot to be excited about. And if you're watching on Twitter and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. And if you're watching anywhere else and you would like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. Oh, also, the biggest Roblox YouTuber in the world is coming on stream on Thursday. I figured we might as well do some fucking follow through on Roblox. And so Thursday stream, this fellow is coming on. He's huge. He talked about us in a YouTube video. He said, I don't know who this threadguy character is, but he's actually live right now. He's 10K live, and he just pulls mill every single video. Also, I was gonna apologize for being low energy today, but I'm fucking not, because I just roll out of bed and it's just what I do. So yes, I had like a mantra I had to repeat to myself in the intro. I kept saying like, you're not sick, you can do this, you get to stream that. I repeated it to myself like 30 times. But I'm not low energy because it's just like what I fucking do in my sleep. So let's fucking get it. Okay. The market, where we are right now. Crypto is trying. Okay. And now Bitcoin chart to me is the least optimistic thing that we have to look at here. This is the least optimistic. And I mean, we really need to see this like re-enter in a reasonable range here before. I mean, you got to see it. We got to reclaim 94. We really do. We got to reclaim 94 type of. Until then, everything here feels pretty fake. We got FOMC coming up. There's just like a lot of volatility in the market right now, and so you probably want to. I don't know. Like it's scary to. You remember what happened last time? We got excited about the move. Is basically what I'm saying. Okay, so I don't want to like jump the gun here on anything, but if you wanted a reason to be fearful, it's one, Bitcoin doesn't look great. FOMC, government shutdown news as well. And then two, this just doesn't look done. Okay, I have accepted the latest cope, which is that as soon as metals top and start ranging and or dropping, finally liquidity could rotate further out on the risk curve and Bitcoin gets its pump. That's our latest cope. I think it's one of the best copes we've had as of recent date. It's the best cope we've had by far. And so I simply choose to accept it because my bias is long. It's the best cope we have. Now, this just doesn't look done. I don't know what to tell you. It felt like this was the blow off the top of all blow off the tops, but usually if you see a blow off the top, it's supposed to do this, not this. Okay? This is not blow off the top. This is blow off the top. And so I'm not really convinced that we're there yet. And until we are there, like until it tests this again and like aggressively fails, I can't really say that confidently that we're top metals thing. Also, like, does this look topped? No, we're just going. It's just, I mean, we're just going right now still. This is the new trading view list I have, by the way. Metals. I feel like sophisticated. We're metals traders now. This just doesn't look top to me. And so until it is, strength on Bitcoin feels weak. Now, There has been what I believe a tangible, you can feel it, vibe shift in on-chain. And if I had to articulate what I mean by a tangible vibe shift, Luke, do you want me to just click start recording now? I thought we already did this. What I mean by a tangible vibe shift is I feel like the tangible vibe shift for crypto and the negative side was Bitcoin would look for any possible excuse to sell off. Good news, bad news. It would like hunt for an excuse to sell off. Right now, I feel like on-chain coins are hunting for a reason to get bid. Okay. Memes on Solana, Penguin, Claude, AI coins are hunting for any reason possible to get a bid. People are just like, whatever they could. Oh, word. Kobe made a joke about Copper Inu, bet 10, 15 mil. Like, people are hunting for any possible reason as to why we should slam on-chain coins. And then the best coin in the market right now is leading the way. You guys know we've had this range forever. The two yellow lines above it, I'm slamming. Below it, I'm bidding. Both directions. Everything in between is a little bit uncertain, but this is, I mean, the most volume we've had on this chart since November. Since then, 10-10, and we're gonna go over hype in a minute, but this is the type of shit you want to, if we're really going to go a little bit of a vibe shift on chain, this is the type of shit that you want to see. Okay. The second token, there's 3 tokens in my opinion that are worth watching for our thing shifting. That's 1. This is 2, which looks pretty fucking good. Zcash is up 8% today. Hype's up 18%, almost 19%. Zcash is up 9%. Chart looks great. And the third chart that I'm just going to say it looks really fucking good is pump.fun. And so if you remember the stream, and I've been showing this line for a while, and I've been saying above this yellow line with sentiment feeling good, I'm a slammer. Okay, I'm a slammer. I'm cracking. Above that line, I'm cracking is what I've been saying. I'm cracking that shit. Above this line, I'm cracking. Not fracking, I'm cracking above this line. And I'm going to be completely honest. We are not above this line yet. And I longed a little bit. I'm probably long with 25% of what I would size into. But I'm long. Okay. And the rationale for why I'm long, my friends, and yep, I know I have broke my rules and I've jumped the gun. And I'm going to tell you why I'm long. I think that we right now are full blown in, this is funny. This is pretty funny. What a dumb fuck, LMAO. Last time I broke the rules, it did work, by the way. This take, I really, we've been saying this for a while. I maybe haven't articulated that well, but we've been saying this for a while. Meta right now, buybacks or ideology tokens. It's like privacy, Bitcoin memes, or full-blown businesses that are printing money and are slamming buybacks. I feel like the market's showing its hand with hype. I feel like the market started to show its hand a little bit with pump. I'm very encouraged by Penguin's performance, whether it was crime or not. I don't really care. We're about to do a segment on that. Does it really matter? No. This is where I feel like we are in the market right now. Is the market wants pure ideology or revenue generating company that's slamming buybacks. And that to me is the vibe shift a little bit. Ryan Watkins, who, look, when it's all said and done here, if that really was the bottom, that stream where we read that article, look, whether it was the bottom or not, this account right here, I think it's one of the most in tune with the market, what the market wants, what the market thinks, and what's going to perform well. He basically is talked extensively about how he thinks tokens are arguably a better vehicle than equity to express long bias on a lot of these companies, which is very exciting. And one of his second theses that we covered extensively in the article is that the few companies in crypto that are quality and that are going to make it are so disgustingly undervalued that you just slam and hold on to your nuts for as long as humanly possible. And if he's right, one, he's going to be right with in size is Hyperliquid. And in the article, if you remember, we had all these metrics specifically around HIP3 and how well it's like outperformed and how well it's doing relative to the price being shipped. Price is $20. We read that article. It's up like fucking 50% since we read that article. But he's kind of been on a sun run. And so I honestly believe that tokens are an underappreciated crypto innovation. When else in history have you been able to hold digital bearer assets that are paid autonomously every time a program is used from anywhere on Earth? In their ideal form, they're better than equity. Really, I want to believe that he's right about this. Like basically, if he is right about this, the outcome is that smart contract enforceable buybacks on tokens that really make money are going to perform very well. And the biggest problem that we have had in crypto, I think, over the last 6 months is this spiritual shift where people don't feel confident in buying altcoins because they don't really know what they are. You can get Aave Foundation Lab drugged at any point, okay? And if Hyperliquid legitimately breaks that mold, because Hyperliquid would be the one to do it, it opens up the path for Pump Fun, Uni, Aave, everything to come after, Meteora, even everything that comes after it, where these companies make real money to really align incentives with token holders. You want him to be right, I believe. You really want Ryan Watkins to be right here. He might not be, and we might just get rugged and hype retraces the move. And I haven't full-blown flipped like, oh my God, I'm a bull on chain. But it does feel like there's a little bit of a shift where people are looking for any excuse possible to buy coins. And as I've laid on my deathbed over the last 3 days, I just can't help but feel optimistic about where we are with these coins on chain. Sugar, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Thank you. So that's tweet number 1. This is tweet number 2 that I read. Now, tweet that basically backs the sentiment. I saw this the other day. I saw this on a live stream from Amit Investing, who I watch every morning. I actually didn't watch him today. Amit Investing, market open every single day at 9:30, mainly talks about stocks. And he pulled this tweet up, and I thought this was fascinating, which is 27% of the S&P 500 returns are driven by buybacks. That's a lot. That is a crazy number that's rapidly accelerating. Look at this. Returns in 2011 are driven by buybacks. Look how much it's increased as well as time's gone on. 2011, it was almost none. It was 2011, there was almost no returns driven for buybacks. It's basically, look at this. It's basically all PE ratios. PE ratio, PE ratio, PE ratio. And then it slowly, these buybacks. Now, if that, I have just tweak? No, we're good. This is one thing that crypto is able to do very well, potentially. At least our best coins are able to do this very well, which is administer buybacks. This is sort of an optimistic chart. I'm not going to lie. If you are a believer in the Ryan Watkins thesis, if you're a believer in the hype, if you're a believer in pump, this is a very optimistic chart. This is bullish crypto alts because we can't really do a lot. DCF models are pretty bearish for crypto. PE multiples are like pretty bearish for crypto because it's like, what does the token represent? Is it equity? Is it not? What does it represent is very opaque. But buybacks we could do. We could do buybacks. We could do buybacks with the best of them, I would argue. Jude, 50 gifted. Thank you so much, brother. You're the reason I'm able to get through stream today. Thank you so much for the 50 gifted. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one thing he agrees. He seems to agree with me, by the way. That's one thing that crypto can do very well is buybacks. And so if we're getting to a point where crypto alts become investable again, you are looking at ideology tokens, Zcash, memes, Bitcoin, and you are looking at fundamentals. How much base, which is basically to me right now, at least the market says, how much can you buy back? And the market says it wants pump, it wants hype, and it wants Zcash. Ideology, buybacks. That's what I'm interested in for the inevitable future. I feel like that's what we've mostly been talking about on this stream. And that's what I'm going to continue to talk about until I'm told otherwise. I'm going to just choose to believe this cope. I really am. It's good cope. It's good cope. Probably retweet this actually. Fuck it, right? Now, why am I long pump? Okay. I'm long pump for 2 reasons. I'm long for 3 reasons. 1, there's just a beautiful entry on the chart that I said 3 weeks ago, regardless of market conditions. If we break it clean, you have to long. I front ran it. I broke my rule. I went early. Probably not great. The second thing is I really believe what I'm saying, that if we are to return to altcoins being investable, that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be these dead L2 gas tokens that make no revenue. It's not going to be these Dino coins. I really think it's going to be these. I think Ryan's right. I think Ryan is right. And he's going to come on the stream next week, probably. He's going to come on the stream next week. We're going to talk about it with him. But it's really hype and pump continue to be the 2 that every single day are buying back millions and millions and millions of their token. And if I'm right about ideology and buybacks, pump is sort of the best of both worlds, which is that no matter how many launch pads try to come and vamp the pump motion, it just happens every single time, bro. They just win every single time. Look at this. It's kind of crazy, really. It's sort of unreal. What's good, Frank? They bought back $2 million of the token yesterday. $2 million worth of their token yesterday. Which, if we look at this, is the most since when? Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Since when? Have I missed it? Certainly I didn't skip it, right? 1.7. Since September 20th, 2025, bro. Insane. It just finds a way every single time. And so that is the third reason why I'm long. I might have jumped the gun a little bit on it, but I don't know. The hype up 20% thing just like kind of feels fucking important to me. It just does. It feels relatively important to me. I'm not gonna lie. Imagine God Candle on Bitcoin if Bitcoin Core Dev tweeted, "We working on quantum." For some reason, after that interview that we did with Mr. Hunter, I'm not that concerned about the quantum thing. I would love to see it addressed. I don't really think it's that real of a concern, and I feel like it's going to be dealt with, but a plan of some sort would be ideal. Also, I'm just going to say ETH coming out of nowhere and ripping that ETH is quantum resistant is so fucking good, bro. It's so good. I mean, it's so good. ETH quantum, it's so good. Gold made a new ATH today, I know. Who tweeted that? The ETH Foundation? Who tweeted that? Sugar, thanks for the 5 gifted. Thank you. Who tweeted that? Ethereum, is it at Ethereum Foundation? Let me see. At Ethereum? No way, at Ethereum tweeted it. Yeah, look, this is so good. I love it. I fucking love it. Why not, huh? Like, actually, why not? Ethereum is for quantum resistance. Why not? It's a great narrative. They need, I mean, why not? Fuck it. Put some pressure on. You know, for as little as I know, I'm about to do the Penguin segment in a minute because I think it's going to be a banger YouTube video. It's going to be good for us. We're going to do the Penguin segment in a minute. I don't, for as little as I know about some of the macro flows and how it works, I really don't believe that the quantum narrative is the reason Bitcoin's underperforming. But I do think guys like Saylor and these higher up Bitcoin participants acting like it's not a big deal is pretty retarded. That to me is a miss. Like that, it's just a miss. It should be dealt with. I think it is being dealt with. I think part of the problem is that these like core Bitcoin devs are a little bit too far out in the chasm that we don't really intersect with them. Like the Hunter fellow has been working on BIP 360 for like months. He's so deep. I didn't even know who he was. Like I didn't really know who he was. So at all. I don't know if anyone here in the chat knew who he was. And then when we started talking to him, I was like, oh my God, this guy's a little bit out of our, he's just like a little bit out of our wheelhouse. And so I'm optimistic that this is a hyper focus of the niche Bitcoin developer community. And we just like don't really intersect with them, which for better or for worse is what it is. Yeah, he was a little bit out of our wheelhouse. I'm not gonna lie. But so here's what we're gonna do is chat real quick. Pulse check. Last 72 hours since I haven't been streaming in a while. Are you up or down on what? Up or down on what in the last 72 hours? Then we're gonna talk about the Penguin ascension because it's good for our bags. It's also good for our content. He was lit. He was awesome. He's one of the best guests we've ever had. Up on Claudebot. We'll talk about Claudebot at the end, probably. I'm struggling, chat, but we're going to get through stream, I promise. I promise. I am struggling, though. Can't believe the Penguin isn't a 200 mil runner. I'm going to be honest. The Penguin is... Did I miss bro talking about his date? Okay, Frank, quick TLDR. And I got to move on, is I hope she's not watching. She knows about threadguy. I really hope she's not watching. If you are, baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest. Shorty, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest with the chat. Like, I don't know what to tell you if you are watching. She cooked for me on... she cooked for me on Saturday, and I woke up on Sunday with the most aggressive food poisoning I've ever had in my life, Frank. I was laying over the toilet, thumbs in the toilet bowl, touching the water, gripping it as hard as humanly possible, and I threw up 35 times in 24 hours. So, Shorty, if you're watching, look, baby, I don't think it was you. I really don't think it was you. I think it was that yogurt I ate on Sunday morning that I've had every day for the last 2 weeks that gave me the food poisoning. I really don't think it was you, but I'm just doing what the chat is doing. I really don't think it was you. I think it was the yogurt I've had every day for the last fucking month with no issue ever at all. Anyways, okay, chat, let us talk about the $150 million Penguin, and most importantly, how millionaires were made off the back of the viral Penguin meme over the last week. Chat, who traded it? Yes or no? Who made money on this, on the Penguin coin? Yes or no? Once again, I was on my deathbed, and so I didn't. Easiest 20 sold in my life. I'm going to be honest, chat. This alone gave me the most optimism I've had for the state of Onchain in a while, seeing how hard this ran. And I think has played a reasonable role as to why I longed Pump with some size. So let's talk about the Penguin a little bit. So here's the Penguin. If you didn't see this, I'm assuming basically everybody has seen this Also, quick preface is I might dumb this down a little bit for the stream because it's gonna go to YouTube and chat. We're gonna, dude. I got some. Just know I got some talent. I got some talent working on this shit right now. I got some fucking talent working on the YouTube side. And so don't. If you see your Twitch name in the screen of like a 50K YouTube video, 60K view YouTube video, like don't freak out about it. Say hi YouTube. Say hi YouTube. Say hi YouTube if you want to be in front of 60,000, 70, maybe 100,000 people. Say hi YouTube. Say hi YouTube. I just clicked on your YouTube video not knowing it was you. Trust me, bro. Yeah, say hi YouTube. Yep. All right, let's fucking do it. So this is the penguin meme, which basically took CT by storm over the last couple days. Look, we would have done this yesterday. I know I'm a day late, but again, I was dying. I had food poisoning. I almost died. So this penguin meme went fucking ballistic. I think this is the most iconic tweet from the whole thing. Logjam tweeted, okay, forever hold. As I watch this video, it made me feel some type of way. My IRL buddies love to give me a hard time about shitcoining. Since I've started this journey, it has made sense to no one but me in real life context. I woke up and saw the video this morning and it resonated with me on so many levels. Maybe it works as a coin, maybe it doesn't, but I fuck with the message and it's going viral. Ticker Penguin with the CA. Good luck with the tech plays this weekend. He posted this at 40K market cap. He was up 374,000% since his tweet. And this right here is why, one, as a smart fellow Frank DeGods once said, crypto has found PMF as the money of the internet. And two, this is why meme coins and most importantly, deploying tokens on Solana blockchain is just not going to die. So, all right, here's the penguin meme. I feel like everybody knows it at this point, but here's how it originated, and here is how people made millions of dollars from it. So I didn't really realize this, but this is a pretty old meme. The penguin originated from a 2008 financial crisis, vibe shift after that, 2026. Penguin meme launches, vibe shift after that. I don't know. A 2008 National Geographic documentary. Warner Herzog's Encounters at the End of the World. The meme centers on a lone penguin that inexplicably leaves its colony and food source and keeps walking towards the mountains no matter what. We have to watch it, right?
Dr. Ainley, is there such thing as insanity among penguins? I mean that
places they...
These penguins are all heading to the open water to the right. But one of them caught our eye,
So good.
the one in the center.
Chat, be honest. You know who Herzog is? They told me he's like the Michael Jordan of directors. I never heard of him.
He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains.
Chills. It's chills. Be that penguin 2026. So this gets resurfaced. And the rebirth of the penguin meme took over the internet as the Nietzschean penguin. And so the primary TikTok has 3.3 million likes and 17.6 million views. And so here's a quick timeline on this meme. 2008 is the origin. 2015, it gets coined as the nihilist penguin. 2023, 2024, the meme has a resurgence. And then 2026, it's blended with this new TikTok format, with this new style, and it gets launched as a meme coin on the Solana blockchain. And is a meme really real until it's tokenized on the Solana blockchain? I don't really believe that it is. We put this in here for Nietzschean, for everyone that doesn't know how to pronounce. What they don't tell you, the dark truth behind the penguin meme that they don't tell you, is that how the internet has interpreted this meme is probably the opposite of what's really going on, okay? And while he's being pioneered as a symbol of hope, going against the grain, being a hero, seeking the truth, seeking purpose, what's really going on here is that, quote, the penguin was either very disoriented, was experiencing extreme stress-induced confusion, or some combination of the two. And the reality situation is the penguin probably didn't make it very long after. I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't really think that the penguin made it very long after heading towards the mountains. But what did make it very long is the meme coin in the Solana blockchain. Before you see the penguin walk to his own death, scientists spoke with me about the insanity among penguins and even the prostitution amongst penguins. And so there is sort of a dark truth that comes with this. But look, he went viral. He went very, very, very viral. And the aura edits of the penguin has sort of been coined, at least from everything that I've seen, as the symbol of 2026. I feel like we were talking about this symbol and this energy prior to the penguin meme. And it has come out, and it's relatively, I think, embodied how people are feeling about 2026. Going against the grain, being optimistic, fighting for all that you're worth. It's basically taken over completely. Reached the coveted Elon retweet, which is usually the local top for memes. And yeah, it's taken over, bro. It's like every gym kid, fitness influencer on the story, like every mid from my hometown, like everyone everywhere is just ripping Penguin Edit at the same time that there's like a blizzard across the United States right now. 800,000 views on trending page on Twitter. 800,000 posts on the trending page on Twitter about the penguin. And this thing basically went as viral as possible. And so look, the new escape velocity for memes, which I think we've seen twice now in recent times, is basically the White House taking a meme and using it for a political propaganda push. I think that is how you know a meme has reached escape velocity. And until you reach this point, it isn't as big as it can get. The three examples I have in recent memory here is 1, Studio Ghibli, extremely viral. 2 was Franklin, the turtle, and 3 is the penguin. And so the new tool of political propaganda. And so I don't entirely know how this works, but you sort of have to think to yourself that there is some young intern of some sort, maybe a team intern of some sort, that is super locked in on what's happening on Twitter. And they're basically coordinating meme pushes across all of their pages. So at the same time, the White House official Twitter, the Department of War official Twitter, and Secretary Kennedy official Twitter, basically all at the same time post the penguin meme. Fox News came out and claimed, quote, the penguin meme as their, quote, viral right-wing meme. And so there's basically a rush for 1, the White House and the US government to claim these memes, to seem tapped in, and to push it across all of their channels. And then 2, to basically claim it first, to say it's based on the right and basically not let the Democrats post it. Like it's happening at the same time. It's kind of interesting. And so the last time in recent memory we saw this was with Franklin, when Secretary Bessent, Cynthia Loomis, and then this fellow Pete Hegseth posted Franklin all at the same time. And I think this ran to what, 20, 25 mil maybe. And that is why the penguin is pretty interesting to me. And so
Here's the tweet. And I think this remains our theme of 2026 for on-chain excitement and optimism about crypto, which is from Frank D. God's ours truly. Crypto has become crypto has product market fit as internet money, a home for experimentation that sits outside of traditional finance. And so a couple recent examples of TikTok memes here is one, Franklin topped at about 20 mil. It was the most recent one that went really viral. And then obviously the two examples we have are one, Mudang, and two, Chill Guy. And what I want to say about this, as we see a chart here of Penguin hitting an all-time high of like 170 mil daily volume at 85 mil, is for as long as a viral meme can get launched on the Solana blockchain via Pump Fund or any other launch pad as a meme coin, and it can break as little as 10 mil, 5 mil even, and especially with ceilings at 170. Look, I don't really know how this got as high as it did, but the only thing that matters is it did. For as long as this is a reality in crypto, you're only going to see more meme coin deploys, more people paying attention to crypto, more people expressing their views of crypto PMF as the money of the internet, and more people trading memes. Like, for as long as this is possible, meme coins will live on. And what we're looking at right here is a screenshot of the FOMO app where people trade meme coins, and the three top P&Ls on the Penguin coin. One, collectible, hit for $655,000. Two is Logjam, whose tweet we referenced at the very beginning, hit for $564,000. And three is Zinc ETH, hit for $300,000. For as long as this is possible, for as long as you can hit and be early on a meme coin of a viral trend that gets deployed and you can hit for six figures, crypto's just not going to die. It may get sad, it may get barren, it may become a little bit of a wasteland, but for as long as this is a reality and people are doing this on Solana, crypto's not going away, deploys aren't going away, meme coins aren't going away, and most importantly, the threadguy stream is not going anywhere. Here's the top traders and holders of the Penguin coin. This is probably the coolest part about FOMO to me, is people can post their thesis basically. Collectible, Penguin against the world. People forgot how to believe in something. Let's teach them a lesson. Madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it is the rule. Cousin Crypto had a pretty good one. He was really bullish on Twitter as well. You don't get it. And so for the YouTube people that don't pay attention to meme coins all day, this is going on all the time. Penguin coin was a particularly unique spot that went higher than normal, and there was bigger P&Ls than normal. But this is a screenshot of KOL Scan, which is pretty dead, to be fair. That's basically tracking the most popular wallets and their P&Ls and how much money they're making on Solana. This is over the last month. Sentence is up to 600 bands, which is crazy. Cupsy up 230, RAM up 200, Pain up 200. This is every month. Bad months as well. This is what the weekly used to look like. This is what the daily used to look like, honestly. This is the monthly right now. And again, for as long as this is happening, meme coin deploys on Solana are just really not going to stop. And so my favorite takeaway from this whole thing, Hugo Martingale, kind of a troll, really a serious tweet though, is I'm betting on the White House becoming rapidly proficient at soft shilling low caps. Bid all patriotic meme animals less than 5 mil. Look, I am not saying that the 20-something-year-old intern that runs the White House Twitter account is buying Penguin on Solana before he tweets this. I'm just saying that there is a lot of money at stake and potential upside for the interns being tapped in to what's happening on Solana before they make these tweets and before they make these tweets. And I'm just saying that more likely than not, every time there's a viral meme and there's a coin deployed on Solana and it's running and people are making 6-figure, 7-figure, maybe even 8-figure and really unique off-case scenarios, don't be surprised if you continue to see White House and government official Twitter accounts, especially the ones that are run by presumably young interns, continue to post and support these trends. Frank tweet again, which I fucking love. And okay, this is the creator awards for Franklin. He made 22K, which actually feels pretty low. We're unable to see how much it is for Penguin because I don't entirely know why, but there's some weird UI bug with Pump Fun. I think it was Bastille is the CTO. I don't know how much he's up. If you could find me the tweet of how much he's up, please let me know and we'll include it at the end of this little segment for YouTube. But hate creator fees, love creator fees, hate meme coin traders, love meme coin traders. As long as this is happening, degeneracy, meme coin deploys, and tokenizing virality as coins on the Solana blockchain is just really not going anywhere. And I think there's no other takeaway other than looking at this chart, which we could actually look at the exact chart right now. Wrong thing. Other than looking at this chart and genuinely feeling like we are nowhere near euphoria, but if there was any time to pay attention to what's happening on chain in crypto again, it's probably right now. If there was any time to dream for a second and cut the nihilism bullshit as to what can happen in crypto, it's probably right now. Because my best articulation of the vibe shift, is right now, I think people are looking for any excuse as to why they should slam coins on chain. And before, people were looking for any excuse as to why they should sell coins on chain. I think that's still happening with Bitcoin a little bit. People are looking for any headline excuse as to why they should sell Bitcoin. But for the on-chain cohort, in particular, our little barbell between ideology tokens and real businesses that are printing money, I feels like people are looking for any excuse as to why they should slam buy. And yeah, man, I got excited about the Penguin coin. I didn't trade it. I didn't make any money from it. But it's pretty cool to see people rip mid 6-figure P&Ls again on a Solana token on a fucking viral TikTok meme. And that's what happened. So Penguin coin, it's at 92 mil right now. I don't hold any. And yeah, I did see some screenshots, by the way, about how much he made. We have to find that, actually. How much did he make on creator fees? I need to find a screenshot of that. We'll add it to the YouTube video at the end. I don't actually know what the number is. But that's the Penguin coin, Penguin segment update, and that's where we're at on it. Does anyone hold it? Yes or no? Does anyone hold it? Does anyone hold it? Yes or no in this chat? It went way higher than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. It went way higher than I thought. My comp was honestly Franklin. It went way higher than I thought. And on the back end of it ripping, pump out back $1.9 million for the token is fucking gross. Only selling to Binance. No. Yes, thank you. Why, thank you. Why? Thank you. Also, is Rob ready? We'll get him on in a second. So I don't know. That's kind of my update here, chat. That's kind of my update. A little bit of a vibe shift. Sort of led by hype / pump / penguin and some of these Claude tokens. And it feels like we're relatively close to things getting exciting again. It does. Untaught Talent. I almost died 2 days ago. I almost died. My friend. And you're talking about NGMI. I was leaning over the toilet bowl with 2 thumbs in the fucking toilet. And you're talking to me about Penguin token. I almost died 2 days ago. You're talking about NGMI. I had a spy poison me, and you're talking about NGMI. Wait, let me see this. When's this from? When's this from? Is this accurate? I still don't understand the thumbs thing. Is this accurate? Penguin creator fees hit 3.5K soul, $434,000. They all went to Bastille, Dev who rugged. The real CTO who actually drove the coin's growth got 0. Pump Fudge just stole a Lambo from Harder. Damn, he got $434,000. Is fucking disgusting. Wow. That's gross. Wow. Luke, 2 minutes. I'll be on in 2 minutes if he's ready. Okay, here's what we're going to do, chat. That's the Penguin segment. That's my on-chain update. We are going to have Rob Hadick from Dragonfly come on right now, who is fucking genius, one of the smartest guests we've ever had on, one of my favorite guests we've ever had on. And he's going to come. He's going to talk about prediction markets. He's going to talk about macro crypto. He's going to talk about crypto investing, where the upper tail is. And I think he's going to come here and give us some fucking optimism, because he's been one of the few accounts up there with the Ryan Watkins of the world that have been excited about crypto while everyone else has been fucking dying and losing their minds. So I'm going to bring him on in a minute. We got like 30 minutes with him. If I sound like shit, if I'm all over the place, I'm fucking sick. Bear with me. I'm doing my best. And I'll be back in a couple minutes, chat. BRB. Rip Mac Miller. Also, we have 50 people live on the YouTube. That's crazy. I don't even fucking promote the YouTube. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Chat, even though the majority of people that are here probably know in detail what happened with the Penguin and things like this, and I could have spent 10 minutes on it, I'm going to continue to spend 20, 25 minutes on it, because these are going to bang on YouTube. They're going to bang on YouTube, and they're going to pump our numbers, and it's how we're going to get some more people that want to trade to come our way. So we're going to I could spend 10 minutes on it, but we're going to spend 25 for this egg. Because also, who the fuck wants to film that shit offline? Nobody does. Absolutely nobody does. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Is right now, Rob Hadick from Dragonfly. I have about 30 minutes with him. He's one of my favorite guests we've ever had on. It's been a while since he was last on the stream, and he's going to come on right now. So I'm bringing him on. I will... Yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's fucking get it. Rob Hadick, Dragonfly. I don't know if people remember when he was on. I think he first came on when Robinhood announced tokenized stocks on Arbitrum, and it was a long time ago. It was like one of our first interviews ever. And we've come a long way since we last had Rob on. So I hope he's hyped about the setup. I hope he's hyped about the setup. I hope he's hyped about our growth. And yeah, if you remember that, you're a real OG. So, all right, let's fucking get it right now. Luke, that's the wrong PFP. And we are live. Mr. Rob Hadick, welcome back to the stream, man. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm awesome, dude. It's good to see you, man. I was just saying, the last time you were on, I think it was the Robinhood tokenized stocks announcement. We've come a long way since then, huh?
We have, and I think you have too. Like, you have completely blown up since then, right? So it's like I see you everywhere now.
Thanks, man. That's honestly sick to hear. If I'm hitting your circles, I feel pretty good about what we're doing. Also, I apologize if I sound crazy. I just got fresh off food poisoning, so you're like the first face that I've seen since being deathly sick. But welcome back, dude. It's an interesting time for you to come on, and I think right now more than ever, I'm excited to get some of your perspective on the stream. I mean, what have you been focused on over the last 6 months? You've been on a little bit of a sun run yourself. I'm seeing you on CNBC and talk about prediction markets, and you're all over the place. Like, what have you been on the last couple months here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of the same, right? So it's been clearly like the alt market has been really tough. It's been really tough around a lot of like the kind of you've seen like every crypto social company basically shut down and like moved to trading, right? And it's basically like three things are working, which is like stable coins, prediction markets, and DeFi, right? Like that is like basically it at the moment. And lucky for me, that is what I've always spent all my time on. And so it's been like a really interesting time for me, to your point. And so we've been spending a lot of time on prediction markets, a lot of time on tooling around prediction markets, a lot of time around stable coins, a lot of times around tokenized assets. I mean, what we're seeing right now with trade.xyz on Hyperliquid is like awesome, right? And the amount of, I mean, I think it's something like 12, 15% of Hyperliquid's volume now is in these like real world assets. So like that's cool, right? Like, and so it's really fun to see like that type of stuff start to take off.
Before we talk about some of the prediction market stuff, can you set the stage a little bit on the importance and how substantial Hyperliquid's growth and what we're seeing with Hyperliquid is right now for crypto at large?
I mean, it's important, right? Because if you look around, like what is happening in like broader crypto right now, there's been a bunch of articles out there which has been like, oh, like fintech is adopting or like co-opting crypto, right? And that is true. Like if you go and talk to, you see what Robinhood is doing, to their point about the last time I was on, or you see what now Revolut is doing and Nubank is doing, and with even now with the traditional financial players, the DTCC is talking about tokenizing assets. You see the NYSE announcing last week that they're gonna tokenize assets and do kind of like their own order book. I gave a talk at one of the 5 largest asset manager in the world at their management offsite last week in Florida, and they wanted to talk about on-chain vaults. They literally want to talk about how can we bring our assets into a vault on-chain that has some sort of yield product where I can do better, call it fractionalization, better personalization of and do some sort of maybe net new novel access to one of my investment types, right? Especially around what we're seeing, like Apollo did a thing where you could essentially put leverage on an Apollo private credit fund, right? And so they're like talking about stuff like that. And so all of this conversation is like traditional finance players, traditional fintechs who are saying, I think you can use crypto and blockchains and stablecoins to get closer to my end customers, offer them new products, and bring them kind of more in my aperture and get rid of a lot of the intermediaries, right? And so because of the amount of focus that that's getting from the venture capitalists, because of the amount of focus that that's getting from people with a lot of money and dollars, you're seeing a lot of the entrepreneurs move that direction, and you're seeing a lot of the conversation move that direction. And so I think a lot of the DeFi founders, or a lot of the founders and call it more crypto native applications, they are, I think, concerned, or I guess they're unhappy with, or they think that maybe that traditional crypto, or the stuff that like got your users like really excited about, like might be going away, right? And that's not true. Just a point in time. Like everything is a pendulum, and so Hyperliquid is still the place for speculation on chain for the native users. And they're bringing trade.xyz and real world assets and metals and all these things on chain. Like that's important because it's the counter signal, or the counterweight to all of the stuff that's happening in decentralized entities. And so I'm really excited to see that continues to happen. And I think this like pendulum of like all of this excitement happening about the DTCC and Robinhood and stuff is going to come back to, okay, what is happening in the trenches, or like in decentralized finance. So I think this is a point in time. It's not just that this is forever going to be true, but it's great that both of the things are happening at once.
What is a on-chain vault versus just like general tokenization?
Yeah, so the way people are talking about it right now is so like you can go on Morpho, right? And there's all these different strategies, and you have the quote unquote the curators, right? And so Gauntlet, Stakehouse, like all these guys. And they can theoretically like create, right now it's a lot of like USDC lending, or maybe lending of different types of RWAs, but you can theoretically create like a net new novel product that is a different type of strategy, right? And so one of our portfolio companies, Upshift, has a bunch of these where there's you put in a stable coin, and then that stable coin actually does a loop. Like there's a curator who does like a looping strategy for you, and then they come back and say, hey, listen, we're giving you the best yields across all of these different DeFi protocols on Monad. It's a Monad specific vault, one of the ones that they're doing, and that was going to return you with rewards 18 to 22%, we think, net of fees, and it's basically giving your money to an asset manager, and an asset manager then actively managing your money. And so the traditional asset managers, the BlackRocks and Fidelities and Janus Hendersons and like all of these guys, they're thinking about, is that actually a net new way for us to do really interesting products on chain and meet kind of new users, or plug this into a DeFi or a non-custodial kind of fintech, right? So we get closer to our end user, right? And so there's a lot of conversation around how we can use vaults to get rid of a lot of the intermediaries that exist in asset management.
That's interesting. As sort of a Hyperliquid adjacent follow-up, and then I'll ask you some Polymarket stuff. Do you think the solution to this equity token dilemma we found ourselves in is going to just be buybacks? Like, is this just the answer, what Hyperliquid is doing?
I don't think so, right?
No.
But the problem is like the regulatory regime, right? So clearly, if you think about like traditional finance, and not to go down that road,
No,
but
please.
there's clearly like better ways to return capital to owners of whether it's a share or a token or anything else, because buybacks, you have to have, you're buying into an order book, and you're figuring out a way to reduce that supply, right? But there's always like a natural seller on the other side. People are more likely to be, or less likely to be, sellers because they're investors in dividend stocks if there's a dividend instead. So if you look at like actually like all of the research that a lot of like really smart economists have put out, almost always having a dividend policy that is even the same amount of capital as a buyback policy results in better performance of the stock.
Really?
Right? Yeah. And that's because there are people who actively want to invest in dividend stocks. They want to feel that they are getting capital back, and they're more likely to hold for the long term. It's a different type of investor, right? And so you see that happening, right? So that's clearly better. And then a lot of these companies, right, are growth companies. Like Hyperliquid is still, I mean, what is Hyperliquid? It's 3 years old, right?
Yeah.
It's got a big valuation, but they're trying to build out Hyper EVM. They're trying to get more people to build on top of Hyperliquid. Obviously, trade.xyz and what's happening with Shoku and his team in the unit is great, but sometimes the best way to create value for a shareholder or a token holder is just to invest more in building new cool shit, right? And like that is actually probably the best thing that a lot of these guys can do. But that only works if the token holders feel that they accrue value, right? And right now, without a Clarity Act or a market structure bill, it's unclear to people, like whether or not that they accrue any value from any kind of reinvestment. And unfortunately, until that changes, we're going to start seeing these like acquisitions like Tensor
Yep.
and Axelar, where like the token holders essentially they just get nothing, right? And they kind of transition it to a DAO or to a new person who will operate the DAO, and the team and I think Vector.Fund's case, like some of the tech went over to
But
Circle.
this is happening a little bit in Web 2, right? Like who is it? OpenAI acquired someone relatively recently, and
There was the Grok acquisition,
yeah.
which is, and there's I think it was Wave or Waverly,
Yeah, something
one
like
of these.
this.
Yeah. And it is happening too, where it's the same thing where people are like, okay, well, we'll like Aqua hire the team
Yeah. And
and
fuck
we'll take
everybody
some of the
else.
tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least in those cases, right? Like the people that they're fucking are sophisticated investors like me who like take that risk, right? But because
Okay.
these are not public companies, right? They're not like public shareholders, right? If they were to do that to a public shareholder, there would be lawsuits
Got it.
because what you owe to when you're a public company in terms of how the way you have to treat public shareholders is significantly different than what you owe sophisticated accredited private investors. And so at the end of the day, like in these like Tensor.Fund deals or others, like these people own equity, or the original investors own some equity, and they might have gotten some money back, and they also understand the risk, right? But the token holders, retail, they may not, right? And they may not, they're not as sophisticated, and you have to hold anytime you have like ownership in the hands of retail, you have to hold the project or the business into a higher standard, in my mind.
Okay, makes sense. Also, on the buybacks thing, I saw this tweet I got excited about, and it said like 27% of S&P 500 returns are driven by buybacks. And I'm like, okay, fuck, maybe Hyperliquid did figure it out, but I guess bringing Polymarket into the mix on the topic of revenue fees, on the topic of Hyperliquid, on the topic of Pump Fund, you made this tweet the other day that Polymarket turned on fees for some of the up-down Bitcoin markets, and just a very small percent of the market's on Polymarket, and it was really churning out some fees. And I'm curious, like, how do you think about the long-term fee and value accrual to Polymarket and their ability to rival Hyperliquid, rival Pump, rival some of these other crypto behemoths if they were to really go full-blown into fees?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, so it depends on how much of the volume. I don't know exactly how much of the volume is these up-down markets,
Yeah.
right? But what they did was they turned on 50 bip taker only fees, so only on the taker side,
Cool.
not on the maker side. Fees in the 15-minute up-down markets. That's probably something like between 5 and 10% of their total volume right now
Okay.
in the call it on-chain business. So the U.S. business hasn't really launched, but there are some users today in beta. So that's just the international on-chain business. And it's like something like 700K to 800K of volume a week right now in that 50 bips on taker, right? So there's two things that are true. One is that those fees are less than like Kalshi charges today,
Yep.
right? And so there's a lot of like right now Kalshi charges on both sides of the trade. And two, it's only this really small set of volumes for this kind of like more like actively traded. Like it's a little like that one is definitely a little bit more like a crash game,
Yeah.
right? But you see much bigger slugs, but less actively traded, and obviously politics and sports and other stuff, right? And so like that's like 40 to 45 million of run rate revenue right now in the past few weeks, just around that those markets. And let's say it's 5% of the volume, right? Like we're talking it's an $800 million run rate revenue a year business, right? And one that is growing on the magnitude of 10 to 20% month over month right now. I mean, Polymarket's going to do $4.5 billion of volume this month. It'll be their biggest month ever. And prediction markets are like not stopping, right? Like we've seen these markets continue to grow. We've seen liquidity and depth continue to get better. Polymarket's not even in the US yet. So listen, like, we'll see where they get, but I think Polymarket is going to be doing, in the billions of dollars of revenue themselves, and not to include the rest of the markets. And I'll give you kind of one last point to this, which is I was So right after ICE announced that they invested $2 billion into Polymarket, I was with the founder and CEO of ICE, and I said, hey, listen, like, this is, really awesome to have you. Like, this is great. Like, how do you think about this business? And the founder goes, I think Polymarket is going to be $100 billion company. And keep in mind, ICE is like a $95 billion company today, and they own the NYSE. So that's how bullish like a lot of the traditional finance guys are about this product and how big these prediction markets can be.
Brutal name for ICE, huh?
Yeah, these days.
But I mean,
He's trying to rebrand right now.
it's a crazy number. What do you think has to happen for Polymarket to become $100 billion company? Like, how do you 10, or so X from where it is right now?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, what is the volume? So on Kalshi, it's like 92-93% sports because it's mostly Robinhood. On Polymarket, it's about 40-ish% sports. And then the largest markets underneath that, I think right now is still crypto, which is like 30-ish% right now. And then politics is the biggest when there's actually something political, but obviously that kind of ebbs and flows. And then they have kind of these business markets, et cetera. And one of the things that we've seen a lot of is we've seen a lot of talk from, and actually the Interactive Brokers CEO talked about this in their last earnings call. They've seen a lot of conversation from their clients around like weather hedging, right? And so, you can obviously think about, okay, well, New York City just got this, crazy snowstorm, right? Or the whole Northeast did. And you could hedge the amount of, I mean, some people are just, obviously speculating, but you could hedge potentially like your business that is, maybe you own a business that you have to close your business, right? Because if you have over 6 inches, like you're just not going to be able, nobody's going to come out, and you could theoretically like hedge if there was a big snowstorm and lock in some of your gains or not have to lose as much money, right? And we've seen a lot of insurance companies actually, and this is what the Interactive Brokers CEO talked about. Insurance companies start to talk about like hedging weather related activities related to their insurance markets, right? Or the things that they insure.
Yeah.
And so that's one example of, okay, well, this is the type of product that basically, people are talking about, but does not exist today. But think about how big the insurance market is in the US, right? And how big like that could be if that depth gets there, if you have the right institutional grade offering to get these people to actually be able to do that on chain and not do it right now. Most, call it weather related hedging is done OTC at, a large, prime broker or a bank, right? But these are clearly better markets because you can create more of them. You don't have to pay the fees of the bank. You have, you don't necessarily have to have like take counterparty risk, however that bank is, right? And so that's one market. Well, now think about, okay, well, now I can get direct access to, this is something that both retail and, hedge funds would like alone, which is, okay, well, I think I know that this is actually a really good point. There's a analyst at Masari, or who used to be at Masari, called Kunal, who used to always get Coinbase's quarterly revenue numbers closer than any of like the Wall Street guys, any of the Goldman guys, any of the Bank of America, any of them. He used to always be closer and like more on the dot of like what they would do that quarter because he knew how to read on-chain data, right? So he had an edge in a public company quarterly earnings, right? But what would happen is like, maybe the Coinbase would beat or they would miss estimates, right? But that doesn't always mean if you beat or miss that the stock goes up or down, right? Because there's third and fourth order effects that affect what happens to that stock. But now say like, well, now I have direct access to betting just on the beat or the miss, right? And not on like how the stock performs, relative to its gamma, and this option that I buy, whatever afterwards. And so it's clear to me that like there's a bunch of hedge funds who would want to trade that product if they can, and in real size, if they can get enough liquidity. So I think as you start to get these kind of more institutional markets up, I think it becomes pretty clear that Polymarket could theoretically rival the CME.
The second take is fascinating because like you have a view you want to express, but the vehicle isn't direct enough, and so you're betting, you're buying call options, but price, you beat earnings, but price doesn't go up for some outstanding factor, but you were still right about earnings. That's I need to look at that after this. Also, on the first point, I'm in New York City and we got fucking hammered with snow. and we were looking at these markets on Friday's stream. I didn't realize that weather futures is like this massive market. I had no idea. This is a huge thing.
Yeah, they're huge markets already, but like retail can't trade them, right? There's like no way for you to trade weather futures in the traditional sense, right? If you bring them on, why would you not want to trade them? And everyone that listens to this want to trade them. Bringing them on Polymarket, like that's a way that now they can actually get access to that.
Interesting. Also, I think it was Vlad from Lighter had some clip or a tweet where he was saying that people will use prediction markets for insurance, and he just got like obliterated by crypto Twitter. Like, do you think he's right about this?
Well, they don't today, right? But it's a conversation that we're literally hearing insurance companies talk about it, right? And so it's one of those things where to me, as a person who has these conversations, talks to these companies, like, is in these rooms, it's very clear to me these are coming, right? But like, if you go out and say, yeah, people are doing this today, and then you look at the on-chain volume, like, it's not happening yet.
Do you think prediction markets, poly markets specifically, and like one of the pushbacks when I talk about to my audience or when crypto native people talk about it, is that it's missing a layer of PMF with like on-chain traders. And the obvious thing people reference is that there's a lot of people that are making millions of dollars even now in meme coins, and there's very few people making millions of dollars right now on Polymarket. Do you think that's something that has to increase for Polymarket to get to be as big as it could be?
One, I don't actually know if it's true that a lot of people are making millions of dollars in
a lot is generous, yeah.
There's a lot of people who hope they're going to make millions of dollars. I think, listen, like there's especially in like, in like the meme coin trenches, like there's the people like want a certain type of leverage, right? That's why perps are so popular. That's why Hyperliquid's so popular. They want to have these like outsized outcomes, right? But like most markets don't operate that way. So the biggest markets in the world like aren't actually these markets with 10x leverage. There's big retail markets around that, but like nobody who's doing billion-dollar trades on CME is like levering up more than 2x. Yeah, right. And so I don't think it has to be true that's true that's the case. That said, I think clearly there's untapped potential in allowing call it retail users who want access to more leverage to be able to probably do some sort of borrowing against their positions, right? This is one of the things that actually like ICE has talked about, which is that if you have a tokenized position in a long dated or medium dated prediction market, can you use as collateral to then actually go and trade something else? Wow. So there's like really interesting stuff around that even the traditional market participants are thinking about. And then there's like, okay, well, can I actually just like borrow against some other position or get some sort of like, can I turn it into a perp? Like there's I think DYDX is doing this, right? A few other people are trying to turn like these binary option contracts on Polymarket into perps as well. And so there's work being done around this. All that being said, like I don't know if I agree with you that I think it probably helps volume to continue to increase in the crypto native users, right? But I'm not sure that it like really matters around going from what it is today to $100 billion company.
What does ICE do? Like I feel like prior to Polymarket, I really haven't heard that much about them.
Yeah, so ICE is the parent company, or the Intercontinental Exchange is the parent company of a bunch of different, basically like financial services or financial related companies. So, so other than invade Minnesota, no, I'm just kidding. They own I think the NYSE. So that's like the largest thing that they own that like most people know. They own a business called Black Knight, which is like a mortgage servicing software company. They own a data business. They own a business called Backed. If people know, it used to be called. It was their first foray into crypto. It was going to be. It had like a kind of a crypto exchange brokerage platform, and then they were doing like crypto loyalty. They own like a clearinghouse, so it's like it's basically a conglomerate of different types of financial companies, but with the NYSE being call it the biggest of that group.
Interesting. Here's another one that I think is interesting is like on the poly market future. What are your thoughts on poly token if that were to happen, and how it would be successful?
Well, I think there's a broad question around all tokens right now and like regulatory clarity.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's unique to poly market. And I think being able to people to have more direct access to, I mean, even an Aave, right, in the situation that they're having
Brutal.
between
Just brutal.
Brutal, right? But you know what happened is Sonny came out and he's like, okay, well, the labs entity, which operates the front end, will do some rev share with the token, and so like, you know, or the foundation, and so like trying to figure out ways to get people to share in fees and for that to accrue to the token, like that's going to be important, I think, for all token holders for all types of protocols going forward. I think making sure that you know in any type of acquisition, you know, the token holders get something. I think that's going to be important going forward. But I think a lot of that comes down to the U.S. government, right? And what happens in this like market structure bill that we hopefully get passed. Beyond that, like, do I think the poly market token is gonna do well? Like, I mean, I don't know. Poly market owns culture, right? Like, people talk about like, I want the poly market. Like Tom Brady on a like went on TV while he was commentating on the game and was like, "What does the poly market say?" Like Joe Rogan talks about poly market like every week on the podcast, right? Like, so I don't know why poly market, because it owns culture in such a way, and because it has this kind of net new novel product, wouldn't do extremely well regardless. Like, you know, if they were to launch a token, you know, what would it be valued at? Like, I don't know. That's for someone smarter than me to say. So,
You know, on the market structure bill side, I feel like on the crypto Twitter, the niche crypto Twitter on-chain side, people really just don't pay attention at all. And then anyone I talk to that sits more on the institutional side, or anyone that's like crypto adjacent but doesn't spend all day in the conversations that we spend all day on, is like putting a lot of weight behind this. And I'm like, you know, people smarter than me always tell me on the regulatory side, it's all headlines, things get pushed back, they get pushed forward. You should sort of just wait to see what happens and then base your opinions off of it. But I'm like, how big of a deal do you think this is? Like, is this something that we should really be putting weight behind and being optimistic about?
I mean, it's a huge deal. What you know, I think if you look at the poly market right now for whether or not this the bill gets passed, it's like 55%
Yeah, something like
this year,
Yeah.
right? And so you know, we'll see. But I think like a lot of what we've talked about has been like, how do token holders feel? Like right now, everyone just wants to like catch a runner,
Yep.
right, and sell before like somebody else sells,
Yep.
right? But like that type of like you know Ponzi day, you know, like you know trading, like that doesn't create over time. That's like very value destructive, right? I think one of the things I talk about with some of the other investors is people don't realize this because of you know how so many of the headlines were good, but 2025 was probably one of the single most value destructive years that has is probably was the single most value destructive year that has ever existed in crypto. And because that's because of like all these people who got like washed out of Trump coin, all these people who got washed out of Melania. What happened during the DATS, the tariff tantrum, 1010, right? Like my guess is if I were to take all of threadguy's listeners and I were to say like how many of you like made money trading crypto in 2025, it would be less than half. I would guess, and my guess would be a lot less than half, right? And so I think when you look at that, like people get discouraged and they're like, so they think their only way to you know making money is to like hyper gamble on these like runners or whatever, right? But so now you have people who are like you know they're speculating on copper and speculating on gold and speculating on this other stuff. But like if we're in a world where you can like invest in you can feel good about holding the poly token or the hype token or the pump token or whatever else, because they not only are like making a lot of fees, they're like a real application that people want to use, but then also like those fees are going to come directly back to you, the token holder. Like you're much more likely to hold that token long term. Like there's this a conversation for a long period of time is like, why does Pump have so much money on balance sheet and have so and making so much in fees, but the token's not doing well? Well, part of that is that you'd have no large
trust.
fundamental you know investor who like wants to hold that thing, and if nobody wants to hold that thing, then all the retail people are just going to trade it out of it. They're not going to hold that thing either.
Well, yeah, and if you wake up tomorrow and Elon stops buying back a token, what happens, right? That's obviously being priced in.
Yep.
I mean, this is the biggest problem with crypto right now, right? Is altcoins are largely uninvestable. Feels like the biggest problem to solve with crypto.
Yeah, and I think market structure solves that problem,
Okay.
right? So, like, if all of a sudden, a company that does, Polymarket does $800 million of revenue in their international business, not including their U.S. business, and some amount of that revenue is actively going back to the token holders, right? Whether it's a dividend form, maybe it's buyback form, maybe it's also that they know that if they get acquired, they have some legal ownership to that acquisition price. You won't just see like retail trading the Poly token anymore. You would see large non-crypto institutional investors holding it as well, right? And like that increases the demand for that token, and it decreases the demand for and the price goes up, and then retail people want to hold it as well.
Going back to Polymarket real quick, why don't you think a DraftKings or a FanDuel can put ample resources behind prediction markets and just vamp everybody?
I mean, I think it was DraftKings who, like, in early October, said prediction markets are a fad and they're going away, and then 3 weeks later acquired a prediction market company.
Yeah.
Listen, like, I think there's two markets that exist in prediction markets right now. So there's the hey, like, this is all just sports market, right? Which is like Robinhood, FanDuel, DraftKings, Kalshi. Like, this is what their business. Their business is like U.S. domestic sports, right? And in many ways, like, there's a long debate to hear happen around, the regulatory side of that. But in many ways, like, there's some like reg arb that exists there, and there's also, like, I think there's a reason that it's a better product. But then there's, okay, well, like, how do I get exposure to politics? How do I get exposure to, like, on Polymarket, the most actively traded contracts this month have been contracts related to Iran and contracts related to Greenland, right? Whether or not the U.S. was going to invade Greenland, and whether or not the Iranian the Iranian leadership was going to get overthrown, right? And like, that's clearly, if you're a hedge fund who wants to speculate on like what happens, you believe that the leadership of Iran is going to get kicked out, like, and you want to speculate on, like, what prices do related to that happening. Like, you have to take a second and third order effect on how you think about oil. You have to take a effect on how you think about global equities. And so, like, again, like, if you can take direct bet on that, like, you're going to do that. That's going to be a really big market. So there's that piece. But then there's just like the markets that are around what is going to, like one of the reasons that I invested in Polymarket in the first case was how much conversation was happening around Sam Altman. So when Sam Altman was fired on a Friday,
Yes.
and then the entire weekend, this is like, I think, like July 23, the entire weekend, there was a conversation around, like, oh, will he come back? What will he do? Like, all that. And then on Monday he comes back, right? And the one of the things that I saw was that, like, not only was everyone talking about it in all the group chats, they were also talking about the Poly market, right? And they were investing in Poly market. And that was one of the first signs to me that, like, okay, well, like, this is a social application as well. And I think, well, since then we've seen everything that has happened of cultural significance has included the Poly market now. We now see the Poly market odds at the Golden Globes. We now see the Poly market odds on UFC fights, right? And so I think I believe that there's the sports market, which I think all of these guys are going to be focused on, and that's one thing. And then there's everything else, and then everything else is where Poly market is, like, basically one of one. Like, nobody else is even competing in those markets right now.
The framing of it is sick. Like, so then to ask it more direct as a follow-up, like, why do you think Polymarket beats every other prediction market that's coming after the same pie?
Because they have the relationship with the end consumer, they have the brand with the end consumer, and they have the trust of the end consumer because they've been there and they've done that. Like, nobody's going to go to FanDuel to trade a fucking Golden Globe market, right? Like what do you mean? And so, like, it's just like Poly market has at the end of the day, I think one of the things that's happening with blockchain technology today is that it allows for you to get rid of a lot of these intermediaries. And so you win on one of two sides. Like, you want to be kind of this barbell strategy, which is that, like, I'm either the core infrastructure that everyone has to build on, or I own the eyeball. I own the end customer. And that's why like Robinhood has gone out there and said, okay, well, we're using Kalshi underneath the hood, but like now we'll do our own thing. What that means for Kalshi over time, who knows, right? Because they're going to now have their own JV with Susquehanna. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to own that, but we're going to own that for sports. So we're really focused on sports. I'm sure they'll launch other stuff too, but it's really been all about sports. But other than Robinhood, all of these other guys are talking about like, there's no way DraftKings or FanDuel are doing anything other than sports because their customers don't want that from them, right? Robinhood's customers maybe want other things, but their customers do not. Where and Polymarket's customers, they know that Polymarket is this, everything market, right? That this is the place they go for all markets.
I think it's a great take. And to sort of bring it full circle to crypto, and I can give you kind of like a wrap on this, is, you said 2025 was one of the most destructive years that's happened for crypto. And I think it's like hard to, at the surface level, you look at the charts and you're like, well, how could that be true, right? Bitcoin made many new all-time highs. Majors traded pretty well. Altcoins, under the hood got destroyed though. What is your like optimistic outlook for what happens in 2026 and maybe 2027 if things go according to plan? Like, what's your best case scenario for crypto from here as we live in the shadow of S&P all-time highs, metal, gold, silver, copper's ripping, and we're kind of just like unsure what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still strongly believe everything is a pendulum, right? And so I don't expect that, like, I mean, there's part of the reason that metals are doing really well right now is this is the first time I think in my lifetime where there's like it's not just okay, like this is a store of value. It's like now we're actually we're really we're really concerned about like how much power we're going to generate because there's not going to be enough power in the world for all of this AI activity, right? And you need a lot of these metals for power generation, right? And so there's like a technological demand reason for metals. So that's the first time you've really seen that, right? Or rare earth materials. But like mostly what's happening, and I would say like the broader world is that like people are just getting risk on. They're getting risk on with assets that they trust, right? Which is they feel like they know what they're getting out of the equities. They haven't known what they're getting out of crypto for too long, right? And so if you get this clarity around market structure, I'm strongly believe more people are going to come into the crypto markets, but I do think it's not going to be what it was before. It's not going to be like, oh, all tokens go up and down together. They're highly correlated. There's going to be dispersion. Like it has to be a good product that has product market fit, that has a reason that people will think that they can profit from, the future of some sort of, application that is going to do well and build things that people want to use.
I love it. Rob Hadick, it's always a pleasure when we get you on the stream, man. You're one of the best in the game. Anything else you wanted to say that I missed or you wanted to sign off with?
No, I mean, again, don't lose hope. Like I know there's like a lot of despair in the trenches. Like I think strongly believe if you take a long enough viewpoint, it's going to be a good year, both this year and next year.
Rob, hopefully a new Bitcoin all-time high. We get to bring you back for a part 3, but it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man.
All right,
Bye.
brother. Have a good one. Peace. I love that guy. I love when we get the fucking sharps on him, man. It's great. It's great. You handle this great, even though you're sick, man. I'm doing my best, Vivlet. I'm trying to bring some optimism. We had him booked, and it's just like, these are the guys you can't cancel an interview on. You just can't do it. You can't. It's one of the guests you can't cancel it. You can't cancel a guy who fucking like runs Dragonfly. It's not how the world works, chat. It's not how the world works. It's not something you get to do. It's not. It's genuinely not. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Instead of rugging the stream right now, let me jump off for a couple minutes. I'll be back in like 30 seconds, and then we'll keep going. I'll keep going for a little bit here. Hold on. Chat, I have a really insufferable headache right now, but I'm not supposed to take Advil because my shoulder. What do you think I do? Like, really, what do I do? They said no Advil for 24 hours. I can't get it for a couple more hours. I got a shot, dude, in my shoulder, chat. Crazy work. Crazy work. Kratom is insane. Kratom is insane. Who said that? That's fucked. Kratom is nuts. Yeah, shout out to Rob. That guy's fucking... They manage a lot of money over at Dragonfly, bro. 100% you're on Addy. No, I'm dead sober right now doing this, by the way. I pulled it off. I don't know how. But here's the updates. Man, I don't want to... I'm really not trying to be that guy that's like all bulled up and shit, but above this yellow line with volume, which we have, I just think I'm a slammer. I do. And I don't know. This doesn't normally trade like this. This is trading like something is happening. No, like this is trading like something just happened. This to me is more than like Ryan Watkins posted an article and the revenue numbers were good, right? I mean, what are you talking about here? It hasn't been a red candle in 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. There hasn't been a red candle in 38 hours. And it's up 40% with not a single red candle. It's like a little bit insane, no? This is trading like unique, I would say. It's kind of, it almost feels like it's carrying the whole market with it. Is there like a hype dominance chart? It doesn't, I don't feel like it normally is trading like this, no? Also, this is lit with 42 people on YouTube. Shout out the YouTube crew, by the way. There's nowhere else in the world you could ape size and get a guaranteed 2x other than BTC. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a little ironic. I don't hold hype. You know, what's that thing they used to say about stocks, which is like if you use a product every day, you should just buy the product. Like if you buy an Apple phone every year, you should just like buy Apple stock. How much? Maybe like a paycheck or two in Apple stock. I use Hyperliquid every day. It's kind of crazy, right? I use Hyperliquid every day, no matter what. I'm on it every single day. I've had my Zcash position open on Hyperliquid for like months at this point. Like many months. Why not lighter? I don't know, actually, why not lighter? I don't really have like a great answer to that. Why not lighter? I just don't. I use Hyperliquid all the time, and it's never fails me. Okay, chat. Before I go, as I've been fucking on my deathbed, I haven't been paying attention to Onchain that much. What is your favorite Onchain token right now that we could do a segment about tomorrow? Best Onchain token right now we should do a segment about tomorrow. I know this looks really good. Claude is interesting. Let's see. Do you disclose how big your pump fund position is? It's 25% as big as it will be if it crosses this. So this is pretty funny. The guy that made, God, everyone holds a copper Inu, really? I don't really want to talk about it then because I'm going to say not the nicest thing. It's pretty funny. Okay, I don't know anything about this. We're going to look at this. I want to look at this for a second. Claude bot. I've been getting pinged about this all day. But he tagged me in a tweet. Where's the tweet? Where's the tweet? Where's the tweet? Let's see. From no matter where life takes me, find me with a smile. Okay, look. Keep your eyes up between Claude bot AI and I. as we build as public as possible. My long-term version in the next week is to do what not threadguy keeps saying. We should be exploring app coin launchers and money games built by agents. Interesting. Kind of lit I got tagged in this, not gonna lie, especially if it rips. I don't really know. Is there like a good explainer thread on what this is? I'm letting the internet pick my face. Introducing the Claude profile pick prediction marker run by AI agent with it on wall. I submit the transactions. Let's see. Crazy, it's on base. Is there a good explainer thread, chat, on this? You should get Felipe on. I actually would. Let's see. I just nothing, 'cause that just ain't my style. Life couldn't get better. Super silent on this Claude base token. Contract deployments on base. So it's an autonomous AI agent created by Austin Griffith, a developer from the Ethereum Foundation. That's interesting, by the way. He's from the Ethereum Foundation. This is the type of stuff I'd be interested in getting on stream. Ethereum Foundation dev. It's like, yeah, okay. Interesting. The agent runs 24/7, writes code on its own, makes X posts, interacts with users. Created the Ponzi game Claude FOMO 3D. The agent locked its own tickets for 30 days. Has already earned 100K from trading fees. Right now, Claude token price fully depends on trenchers and, most importantly, the actions of this agent. So it's basically an agent that can deploy things on chain, is my understanding. Let's see. That could be interesting guest chat. Let's see. Oh, wait, this would be crazy. Hold on, let's look at the basic Z post real quick. So Flood tweeted this. IDK price action seems quite odd. Hype doesn't trade like this. Basically said DAT, I think. Ironically, since there's no ETF and Trap Bros, get it. Might be the first decent reflexive DAT in a minute. That would be interesting. The one thing that like this is trading kind of unique too right now, huh? Pump Fund catching similar flows. I don't think there's a Pump Fund DAT to my knowledge. Catching a similar type of like weird move. Maybe not as strong. Definitely not as strong, but like equivalently weird. But yeah, this is unreal. Wow, even since we just drew that line, it's up more. Drew that line fucking 2 minutes ago. Look at this fucking chart, bro. Wow. Look at this chart. 15-minute. Look at this one too. Now, this gold coin is just in a weird spot. We really need this to stop. Need this to stop, bro. Kind of insane though, honestly. Okay, wait, let me read this. Cloud wants to go straight into going for his token. I want to flex the app building muscle. This could be an interesting interview, chat. I'm going to look at this a little bit more, and maybe we'll have him come on, potentially, depending how well it does. Look at this shit, though. This is our line in the sand, I'm not going to lie. You see a 4-hour, a daily close above this with volume, and I think we're sending. I'm not going to lie. I think we sent above this yellow line. I'm long a little bit. I jumped the gun a little bit, 25% maybe of my bag that I would like to get in. But you could see this thing go, I think. on the back end. If we get a real move, you could see this thing go. I think this pump chart is crazy because, dude, they bought back 21% of the circulating supply. Disgusting. It's about like 1.9. They bought $2 million yesterday. That's a lot of fucking buy pressure, bro. Do it every day. Do we just sit here for a minute and just watch it? Like, what? You know, Rob might be wrong, by the way, about buybacks not mattering. I think the dividend is a lost art form, brother. And people want slam buybacks. That's what crypto wants right now, at least. I mean, the chart's telling us what it wants, right? The chart is literally telling us what it wants. Wait, let's actually ask Claude about this. I feel like the dividend is a lost art form. Let's go like, is the stock dividend a lost art form? Can you pulse some data on how much money has been paid out via dividend year over year the last 20 years? I know Skrelly's adding pump right now. No way. Skrelly likes pump? This is fucking nuts, bro. Look at this chart. Who's buying this? God damn. Look at this chart. Seriously, who is buying this right now? This is insane. Let's see. Oh, I'm wrong. Dividends per share, inflation adjusted. It's up a lot. It's like doubled. $2024 buybacks at a record $942 billion, while dividends were in the $629 million. Total shareholder returns at $1.5 trillion. They're actually at record highs. But as percentage of capital returns, they're getting crushed by buybacks. 60% buybacks, 40% dividends. Why companies prefer buybacks? Tax efficiency for shareholders, flexibility. Interesting. This one too. Zcash just looks gross. How's Monero? Monero. Where is it? Not doing much. 4 hour. Not doing much at all. Zcash 4 hour. Doing something. What else is up? Parachain's the only red coin. Wow, Monad's up a lot. Lighter's up not that much. XPL. Crazy. Claude 21 mil, really? Wow. Chat. Chat. It's looking like time to pay attention again. It is looking like time to pay attention. If nothing else, the RR upside that crypto has from here is so much higher than any other market. And all I'm saying about crypto, man, the only thing that I'm saying about crypto is that if this chart right here, if this chart can somehow find a way to get back over this, really this, but if it can find a way to get above this, it is going to be absolutely euphoric at this place, under 100K. It could be euphoric in crypto under 100K. Under 100K. I'm talking like 10% candle on BTC, and you're seeing like a 2x on vibes, maybe more. 2-3x on vibes. It would not going to take much, bro. It is really not. What's the level on pump? Tell me if you think I'm wrong, actually, on this pump level. I'll show you. This is the level on pump. Chart scroll. This is a daily chart. Yeah, this is level on pump. You think I'm wrong? This to me feels like the level. Like it initially failed this in August. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Then it lost it. Rejected. Now it came out. Rejected. Now it's testing it again. This feels like the level to me around this area. You think I'm wrong about this level? I draw this weird. And then I have this 200% ATH basically. This kind of feels like the level. Like if you confidently break this, which look, we hate. Can you explain that again? Okay, I don't do a ton of TA, but I like a little TA to help me like confirm my bias. What did I just do with the chart here? I like a little TA to like confirm my bias if I'm looking for an entry. And so initially this was kind of an important level where like we're on the daily. So back here, it failed it once. It tested a little bit above this level. It broke it, lost it again, tested a little, tested it again right here. And then we took off from this level, right? And then once we started dumping, this is 1010, bounced above it, terrible price action, hit it again, bounced above it, bounced again off of it, tried to pump, bounced again off of it, and then it dumped. We tried to bounce here, right? There's some volume here, lost it. And then it's like, okay, tried it again, lost it. Tried it again, lost it. And then we come all the way back around, dead. And then last week, 2 weeks ago, we had like a little pump. And it basically tested the level and it failed it. And then it's again, we're like at this spot again. And so there's just been like a lot of like failing or claiming of this. There's like a lot of price action at this level right here. And so if you feel pretty good, like if you feel good and you feel bullish and you wanted some confirmation just to fucking make your balls tingle a little bit more on the entry, a volume fucking slice through this and we're out of there. How far? I don't know. Probably it gets a little like dicey around here for sure. 0.05, like around, gets a little dicey again around here, I think. But if we cut this, we're cutting, bro. So I had originally marked this level as like, I'm not that interested in pump. But if we were to get here again and the vibes shifted to my liking, which they kind of have, I think the Penguin token helped a lot with that. The vibe shifted to my liking and we cut that shit with some fucking volume. It feels like it's a real move and I'm in. So I just wanted some, I was just looking to confirm my bias a little bit. I wanted some confirmation. And so I kind of front ran it because I was just like antsy this morning. I bid a little bit, but 20% maybe of what I would actually buy. And now we kind of just sit here and wait. Why would it not be the opposite? What do you mean? Explain that to me. What do you mean by that? Why would it not be the opposite? What do you mean? God damn. Hyperliquid. This fucking token, huh? Looking cute today. What's good, Mangled? What up, Papa? This is looking cute. Explain that to me, Jackson, right? What platform do you put it on? I trade everything, basically everything on Hyperliquid. Or if I buy in spot and it's on Sol, I'll use Jupiter or something like this. Yeah, this is the grossest chart in the game right now. Grossest chart in the fucking game, bro. My greatest perp trade yet, pump and hype. Yeah, pump was my best perp trade ever too. I'm only on a couple X's though. I'm not like gonna be stupid with it. Why don't you buy spot pump instead of long? Because I'm not going full believer mode, honestly. I want to just size up a little bit with less risk, and I don't really want to go full believer mode. When I bought pump the first time, I was down to hold it for 6 months. I'm not convinced that this is the move yet in crypto. So I'm sort of just like testing the waters. Tight stop loss. This is a trade for me. I'm not convinced. Like at 98K a couple weeks ago, I was like, this move is real. Now I'm kind of like ready to get faked out. FOMC, government shut. I'm ready to be faked out. So I'm not like holding my sack yet. You know what I mean? We reclaim 100K on BTC. I'm holding my sack, but I'm down. I'm ready to be disappointed for a little bit here. Silver's still volatile and pumping. I'm ready to be disappointed, I think, for a little bit here. So I'm not. I don't really want to go like hold spot and wick down 50%. I'm not really in the mood to do that. Last time I bought pump, it was spot, and I was down to do that 50%. I don't really want to do that this time. Why would you decide to slam at that level and not short it if it's been constantly rejecting? Because that's sort of my level. Like if we claim it, we're going. If we fail it, then I think the whole move is just kind of going to get cucked. And so that's why I'm saying I bought it early and I was being a little bit retarded. Like I probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't buy it early than where you say you're going to buy it, because it could be a short. To your point. But basically the point is like if it were to claim this with ample volume, then we're fucking out of there. Is basically what I'm saying. But anything until then, at least in my head, was like, I don't really want to touch it. But I jumped the gun because I'm antsy and I'm bored and I'm sick and my head hurts. And claiming to me looks like this. Claiming is like fucking play around here for a little bit and then we're out of there. And volume is up compared to fucking volume piss candle. And this like that was a terrible line actually. It was such a bad line. Realistically, we probably fucking play around here for a second and then we're just fucking out of there. Volume is green fucking dildos printing and we make millions of dollars and everybody's happy and we live happily ever after. And everybody dies happy. But all right, chat. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm kind of suffering right now. I'm gonna rug the stream. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. It's gonna be entirely a solo stream, and hopefully, the vibes are good when I come back. I get my MRI results in 2 days. Please pray that I don't have a torn labrum, because if I have a torn, it's just gonna be so sad if I have a torn labrum. Please pray for that. And I love you guys. Thanks for showing up to stream today. I know I didn't have the most high energy ever. The markets got better for me to get worse. Maybe it shifts tomorrow. Low-key better that way, right? If I'm in a worse mood, but the markets are better, then we're great. Hello, Cyrus. I love that. It's so funny to me. But look, man, we're getting bigger every day. There's 50 viewers on YouTube, which is insane. I have the biggest Roblox YouTuber in the world coming on Thursday. Tomorrow, we're going to do a fully solo stream. And we're just going to fucking get better. So, I love you guys. Appreciate you so much. I'm back tomorrow. Just pray for a BTC move. Just pray, bro. Just pray. Pray for a BTC move. Just do it. I love you guys. See you tomorrow. 3:30 p.m. EST every single day. Peace.